Do you know what? I'm just going to come out and say it. Photography sucks. Well, what about you guys? How's it going? Hope you're all keeping well today. Hope everything is good where you are. I hope you're all keeping safe, and I hope you're all keeping healthy. If you checked out my video last week, I talked about some of the reasons why photography is awesome, why it's such a fun hobby to take up on, why we want to pick up a camera and go outside and take photographs. So today I wanted to cover the other side of the coin and talk about some of the things as to why or what makes photography suck, what makes us want to hang up our cameras for good and just not do it anymore. So I first wanted to take this moment just to thank everybody that was involved in my Instagram story about this subject. There were so many different opinions and stories that were shared on this very topic, so thank you everybody that was involved in that. If you're not following my Instagram already, you can hit the link in the description so you can. It'd be really good to hear from you. Come and say hi when you do come and give us a wee follow. But yes, there's a lot of things that just really kills photography for us, and I've faced a lot of these different things over the years myself, so I wanted to cover just some general points, but also cover just some of the things that I have come across over the years. And if there is anything in this list that speaks out to you, or if you wanted to share anything in particular and how you were maybe able to overcome it, well, please let me know in the comments down below. It'd be really good to hear from you and hear your side too. So yeah, the first reason as to why photography sucks is that it's expensive. You could all probably agree that photography is a very expensive subject. So take for example, you start off, you get your first camera, you start going out and taking photographs, you start honing in on your craft, you start finding a subject that you like the most, whether it's portraits, weddings, so you start then honing in even further into that craft. So you start getting more lenses and you start to find that, oh, maybe I'll get a new camera body along the way too, maybe to add a second camera body, and that, okay, I now need to start getting more memory cards and spare batteries, oh, I have to pay for editing software now too, so I have to get that, and okay, my Mac or my computer is quite old, so I have to then upgrade that, I have to start, and yeah, it's a really expensive hobby. Like, God knows how much I have spent over the years personally on photography. So yeah, if you're really wanting to get into this sort of field, be prepared to say bye-bye to your funds. Another reason why photography sucks is that it's actually really stressful. So yeah, we talked about in the last video that photography is fun and we love going out taking photographs, but there's a lot of times it can get really stressful, no matter what sort of field you're working in. If you're trying to gain your audience and you're really wanting to, say you're working as a professional and you're wanting people to come back to you, if you're wanting customers to keep coming back to you, we're constantly having to put out photographs that attract attention, put out offers, things like that, but all this can really make things stressful because it takes away from the love of photography and makes everything more businessy, and like, it's probably one of the reasons why I personally don't do things like wedding photography, is because I did find it really stressful. Yes, there's good money in wedding photography, but just the work that's involved, so taking thousands of photographs on the day and then coming home and working through your photographs to edit them, it just and then maybe going back and forth with the client and all, it can be really stressful. Even music photography, like, I've been stressed out with music photography before myself. So you're going out taking photos of the gigs, and a lot of photographs are such a quick turnaround that you have to get home, edit the photographs, so that way they're all ready for, a lot of outlets need them for the next day, and maybe you have work the next day too, so you have to then factor all that in. Yeah, all these things really add up into the stress, and it's easy to let the stress get to you. So the third reason as to why photography sucks, and these are two words that we as photographers love to hear so much, and that is working for credit and exposure. Did you know that credit and exposure is a legitimate currency? I mean, I can pay my bills, I can pay my mortgage, I can put fuel in the car, I can put food on the table through credit and exposure. It's actually not that good. I'm just mucking around with you. Working for credit and exposure is essentially just working for free. And no matter what field you are working in, you will come across different people that either want to share your photographs or want to hire you as a photographer. But then comes the big thing, is that, oh, we don't have anything in the budget to pay for you or anything like that, but we'll make sure that we put links and credits and all into the post, so that way people can come and get attention to your own profile, your own photography work. You'll get all the exposure and things like that. And no, again, it doesn't. Things like that don't pay my bills, especially if it's a company that make quite a lot of money. There's times that you can push to maybe get some funds, or maybe just get something out of it. Like, there's a lot of times that I don't get money out of sessions, but I always try my best to maybe get something out of it. Like, if I'm working with a band and I really know them, and at that time they don't have that much money, well, I'll just say, okay, well, just buy me some food or something like that, or maybe throw me in a t-shirt and some CDs. You know, as long as I'm getting something out of it that is probably a benefit to me, then that way you're cutting down on your working for free. Yeah, it's good to get money in photography, but it's not exactly the easiest thing. But if there is companies out there that don't even want to give you that, they don't want to give you money, they just want to give you the credit and exposure, then it's never a bad thing to just say nah and walk away. Now, this next reason is something that I have fallen in and out of over the years, and that is creative ruts. I have been through so many different creative ruts, and it's all down to some of the things that we've talked about already. And one of the things that we're going to talk about in the final reason is that you can fall in and out of just reasons why you want to go outside and pick up a camera. Like, there's times maybe you just go, nah, I don't feel like going out and taking photos because I really don't want to. Oh no, I'll just not bother. So then the camera sits up on the shelf and starts gathering dust, and you just fall out of love with photography. So, and one of the things that I talked about in my photography mistakes video, which you can hit that in the top right hand corner, is that you should never focus on one subject. Yes, it's great to hone in on one thing. Like, again, for me, music photography, I've really honed in on that craft. But whenever I'm falling into creative ruts, what I do is just take a break. Just walk away from it for just a little bit, like maybe for a few months or a couple of months, just a short period of time. Go and do something else. Go and focus on another subject. I love landscape photography. I love just all around general, just out and about. So I'll go and focus on that a lot more. So that way you can then start building up on your creative side again, and your camera's not sitting on the shelf gathering dust. You're still doing something photography related. So that way when you feel ready to come back, you can then start transitioning back into your main field and start working on that again, so that way you feel a bit more love for it again. So yeah, creative ruts will always happen, don't get me wrong, but yeah, just it's never a bad thing just to take a break, take a step away. You don't feel like you're pressured to keep constantly doing it just because you're making other people happy. Your own mental health and your own happiness should be number one. Lastly, and this is probably one of the biggest things that makes photography suck for us, is that we are constantly faced with our worst critic, and our worst critic is you. You've heard the phrase, we are our own worst critic, and we will never be happy of our own work. And we can go out and take this amazing photograph, but then we go home and start pixel peeping and looking at the sharpness, and we start, no, I really don't like that, so I'm not going to share it. But then next thing you know, down the line, you do share that photograph, and actually a lot of people love it. So then you start to go, oh, why did I not like it in the first place? We are our own worst critic. We start to really self-analyze our own work, and for me as well, I don't have the best self-esteem in the world, so I can let that get in the way too. And if you're similar as well, it can really get in the way of what makes us want to pick up our camera, and it's one of the things that can make us fall into creative ruts or get stressed out with photography too. Whereas if you just come away from it all again and just take a photograph and just sit back and just share it and see what people think. But it can take a lot for me especially, it can take a lot for me to feel proud about a photograph. So just every now and again, if you go back even to that one photograph that made you proud as to why you love that photograph in the first place, can just help bring back that sort of love and make you want to go out and take similar photos again, make you want to challenge yourself. Yeah, it's easy to fall to your own worst critic, especially when it comes to things like editing. And now the internet too has really been a big burden, because we can then take a photograph and share it online, and we share it here, but there's another photographer that also shares a very similar photograph from that same location or that same sort of style. You're getting like 20 or 30 likes, but they're getting hundreds of likes, and you're like, why does my photograph suck compared to theirs? Well, those sorts of things can really eat up into the mental health and into the self-esteem. So yeah, just don't worry about what other people are doing, and especially don't worry about what your own mind is telling you, because at the end of the day, there's a reason why people love your photography work. There's a reason why they come and like it, share it, comment on it, and just want to keep coming back to you and see your photographs. Likes don't matter. That's a really hard thing to understand, especially in this digital world. Likes don't matter. As long as people are just loving your work and just constantly coming back to you, that is the main thing. So I hope this video was helpful for you. And again, like I said, if there's some of these things that spoke to you, or if there's anything that you have faced that I haven't talked about in this video, please let me know in the comments down below. I would love to hear some of your thoughts. I could have made this video really toxic and really negative, but no, it's not worth it. These are some of the main things that we tend to look at when we come to doing photography. So again, I hope this video was helpful for you. If you did enjoy this, please like, share, subscribe, and hit that wee bell icon so that you can stay up to date with future videos. But until then guys, take care and enjoy the rest of your day.